biohacking, performance, mastery, mindset, holistic health. This is a show about getting better every single day. I'm on a mission, guys, to help over 1 million people get healthy and lose weight. Why? Because when you lose weight and get healthy, you have higher self-esteem. You have more self-confidence. And that person goes out and crushes their goal and starts living the highest version of themselves, and then they have way more impact on the world. All right, what's up, guys? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another edition of the Weight Loss Wednesday shows that I've been doing here for the last month, and it's just going to continue. And today we're going to be talking about 6 weight loss tips based on evidence. It's actually based on evidence, so I'm not just going to be talking out of my butt like I normally do. I'm actually going to be giving you some really good stuff. So and just before we even get started, we jump into the show, I just want to remind everybody, I do holistic health coaching. And so if you're interested in losing weight permanently and naturally, and you need some help getting there, DM me at Joel Evan Coaching, or shoot me an email, info@joelevancoaching, and I'd be happy to help you. We've been helping a lot of people, at least 60 people over the last 6 months, and we're seeing some phenomenal effects. And so if I can help you, that would be amazing, and I would love to do that. We obviously have a huge issue. I think the last stat I saw for obesity, it's like 70 something, or it's over 77, no, 50, over 50% are like metabolic, have metabolic dysfunction. And then we're looking at some of the studies even show up to like the 70s and 80s. So it's pretty bad. So I want to help, and I want to make a contribution in that part of the world. And we know too, just from looking at the pandemic, people that were more likely to have issues with being immunocompromised suffer from obesity. They suffer from metabolic health. So today's show, I'm going to talk to you guys about 6 weight loss based interventions that you can use in your daily life and make it really simple that you can do that is going to help you lose weight. And this is based on evidence. So, all right, let's jump into it, guys. The first one is coffee. Thank God, because that's my favorite thing. I'm selfishly happy to talk about this one. Why coffee? Well, let's face it. The studies have shown that it does a couple of things. It's going to help lower stroke. They've seen that it's helped lower stroke. It's helped lower the risk of diabetes. And coffee is rich in polyphenols, right? Those antioxidants. When we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the keto code and the secrets of ketosis and why it really works. We got a lot of this information from Dr. Gundry's book, and he mentions things like coffee because of the polyphenols, and it has this uncoupling effect with the mitochondria. It helps you make more mitochondria. It's going to help you burn more fat. So these rich antioxidants, most Americans, guess what? They get it from the highest amount of polyphenols that they're getting is usually from coffee. So you can drink more of it. And what they found too is, even from the Fred Hutchinson cancer research, they actually discovered that men who drank 4 more cups of coffee a day, they had a 59% less chance of getting prostate cancer. We also know that coffee, let's face it, it increases your thermogenic properties in your body, which means it is helping stimulate fat loss, right? It's going to help build muscle, because how does it do that? It helps repress mTOR. mTOR is a hormonal pathway in your body that is telling you to grow, to get bigger. mTOR is great when you want more protein synthesis and you want to get bigger, you want to get fitter. We want mTOR to be surging. But I think there's this really nice, and then of course, when you're fasting or doing something like that, you're not stimulating mTOR, but there's this nice push-pull of the body. There's this nice pulsing effect. So you want to pulse mTOR. You don't want to always be growing, right? And there's a lot of studies showing, like with cancer, right? That's the problem. Like mTOR surging the body and the person's constantly growing. So it can also help with that. And then as soon as you have a meal afterwards, mTOR is going to surge. So coffee, exercise, and fasting can actually help reduce mTOR. Then you have a nice meal after your workout. Bam, you're going to get this nice surge of mTOR. So that's going to be a good thing. That's one of the things that that's one of the mechanisms that coffee does. But, coffee, again, what they noticed, and I mentioned the polyphenols. So just remember, like, it's like a high antioxidant for us. High caffeine also, what they found is high caffeine intake with women actually helped not only with thermogenesis and fatty oxidation, but it also helps suppress leptin in women. Leptin is something we talked about last week. And if you can dial in leptin, people with high amounts of leptin are usually obese, and they're making more leptin. They become leptin resistant, just like someone who's insulin resistant, right? And diabetic, right? They're not getting the right signal. It's jammed. And so they're not producing the right amount of leptin. Even though they're overweight, their body should be saying, we have enough, but we don't. And it's just dysregulated. So coffee can actually help with that. And they found the same thing with even fatty oxidation with those even using green tea. Okay. So get some coffee in your diet. All right. The second big one is fiber. I did a Weight Loss Wednesday a couple weeks back talking about fiber and how it is probably the number one carbohydrate that you need to be getting in your diet, and most people are forgetting about, right? And so fiber, though, and I talk about this a lot at length. So if you want to go back, you can check out that episode. But just kind of a recap about fiber and why it's so important. Okay, so fiber, what is it going to do? It's going to help bulk up your food, obviously. This creates energy density. Soluble fiber is going to be absorbed. It absorbs like water, right? It forms that gel in your stomach. And so that's going to help great for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to increase satiety. Your brain is going to think, hey, I'm full. They actually did studies with prebiotic fiber and discovered that you could fast 7 to 14 days very easily. And all people were given were 100 calories of prebiotic fiber. So there's a lot of good stuff. I've done my own test with prebiotic fiber and with a glucose CGM, and I noticed my levels drop. So huge fan of fiber. It's going to reduce glucose. It's going to help it plateau. It's going to keep insulin levels in check, which is great. Those glucose excursions is something that we see a lot with metabolic health and weight gain. It's also going to increase caloric extension by increasing the bulk in the stool. Okay. So the big thing with fiber too is to remember that it's the calories getting absorbed is not what we look at. When you look at a box of almonds or a bag of almonds, right? One of the big things they say is that the calories that is listed there, you're probably getting 30% less. And they've discovered that because of the high amount of fiber. So fiber is crucial. And I think if you're a woman, you want to be aiming for probably 25 to 30 grams a day. And if you're a man, you should probably be looking for about 40 grams is going to be the recommended dosage. Okay. So that's fiber. And if you want to learn more, like I said, go back and check out my that other episode that I did on it was like a 30-minute episode on carbohydrates. The number one carbohydrate you need, and that's fiber. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Protein. Okay. I think I just interviewed Kristen Wetzel from she has the Willpower podcast. She is an amazing biohacker and woman champion in the woman fitness world and health world, really. But we were talking about this and how women especially are really low in protein and probably catabolic. And that's not a good thing. Catabolic means like you're breaking down muscle, right? You're breaking down your own muscle, which is no good. So one of the things you want to be thinking about, on average, the average person needs about 0.8 grams per kilogram, 0.8 grams per kilogram of protein per pound of body weight. So like for me, for example, if I weigh 150 pounds, I want about 150 grams of protein at least daily. I said 0.8. Yeah, I mean, let's just round up to 1. So that's about, again, if I'm 150, I need about 150 grams. That's a pretty good marker. If you're building muscle and stuff, you probably need double that. And when I interviewed Rob Wolf, he even said like the numbers could be like almost double. So they're seeing that a lot. He's seeing that a lot with his clients as well. So we need to up our protein. And actually an interesting study was done showing that if they did a control group that didn't do this, and then the other group, they had them consume at least 25% of their daily calories. They had them consume that in protein. And what they found is that they had less obsessive thoughts about food and being hungry. And they also cut the urge to eat late at night. So huge. I'm going to link all of these. Right when we're done, this podcast will go out, and I'm going to link the studies to these PubMed studies so that you don't think I'm just making these up, but pretty fascinating, right? The other big thing is with protein overfeeding does not result in fat storage. Okay. It actually increases thermogenesis. And this is where your body temperature increases to metabolize protein, right? Dietary fat and carbohydrates consumption, on the other hand, that could result in fat storage. So just be aware of that. And I'll link that study up as well. All right. So more protein in your diet. We know that. The next big one, mindful eating. And I know that might sound woo woo, but just think about this. Even if you're not going to be like thinking about praising your food or being grateful for your food or whatever, I'm not telling you to do that, but just actually chew your food more slowly, right? This is going to tell the brain, it's going to send the signal to the brain, you are eating. It's going to help activate the gastric and stomach based secretions, and it's going to start getting that process going. And it's going to start telling your brain, in a slow, you're going to start getting the signal that you're full sooner. What they found also is that slow eating had this increase in the diet induced thermogenesis, DIT. And what they found is that this is considered to represent an increase in metabolism, in particular to your brown adipose tissue. Why is brown adipose tissue important? Well, brown adipose tissue is the tissue that is actually most mitochondrial dense. And it is going to help increase mitochondria and burn fat. Okay. Most of us have too much white fat in our body. And the white fat is that visceral fat that is hanging around our belly. You don't want more of that. You want that brown fat, right? And you want to be activating that brown fat. We don't have a lot of it in our body. It's mostly centered around the abdominal and the back, or upper back, shoulders. So there's a great product out there. I don't know if it's a great product, but some people like it's called Gut Buster. And you actually put ice packs on your back, like your neck area and the stomach area. And, because the cold can help burn fat, right? So, you could try that. But they also found that increased motility of intestinal motility was another factor, and they believe that to be a contributing factor. And since the blood flow response increases after slow eating, so again, you're just going to start sending those signals sooner by slowly eating, and it's going to give your body and brain a chance to connect and say, hey, I'm full, I'm satiated, I don't need any more. And it's also going to be really good just for digestion when you think about it, allowing your food to properly digest. When you think just about saliva and how that's going to help increase digestive enzymes and break down the food properly the way it needs to, right? So long story short, chewing, it's going to help signal the beginning of the digestive process, right? Your body releases saliva, breaks down the food, helps relax the stomach ahead of digestion, and that's going to allow for food nutrients to pass through more easily, right? Chewing food is also going to give the stomach enough time to signal to the brain that it's satiated. Okay, so mindful eating or chew slower. The fifth big one, drink more water. Now, I know a lot of people that are on this gallon of water kick, and I think it's complete BS. If you're drinking water, I would say in general, probably drink about half your body weight in ounces. So again, if I'm 150 pounds, divide that by 2, about 75 ounces. Let's just round it up to 80 ounces of water a day. That's probably where I need to be. But again, there's no hard, fast rule there, but that's just the general in terms of hydration. What I'm talking about for drinking more water is actually drinking and this is a study that was done, but you want to drink water and what they use is about half a liter. So about, I think, 8 ounces of water, or 16 ounces of water. And you want to do this about 30 minutes or an hour pre-meal. And what they found in this study was that dieters were able to eat fewer calories, and they lost 44% more weight compared to those that didn't lose the weight. Pretty fascinating, right? You could also drink. And so if you wanted to do it, you can drink a half hour before your meal. And then what I might do is an hour after the meal, have another glass of water. That's going to keep that satiation going. Okay. You don't want to drink water right after or during, because you are going to interrupt that, what we just talked about, your digestive acids, and it's going to decrease stomach acid and mess up the digestive process. And you're actually going to weaken stomach acid, and that's not going to be good for you to absorb nutrients and break down food correctly. So drink more water pre or post, definitely pre, but you could also add it post. And then the last big one, number 6, is sleep. Okay. Talk about this a lot, but nobody wants to listen. So I'm just going to keep talking about it. And I'm going to include the studies to prove it. You want to stop eating 3 hours before bed. Okay. 4 hours and you get bonus points for me. You're going to get deeper sleep. You're going to allow your digestive process to actually turn off like it's supposed to. It's supposed to turn off. Your body has internal clocks in each organ. The pancreas knows, like, hey, it's time for me to go to sleep, because now I'm going to stop worrying about releasing insulin and focusing on digestion. And I'm actually going to start creating melatonin. Well, it can't do that when you start all of a sudden throwing food in your mouth right before bed or close to bed. Now it has to turn its clock on again. It's like, what's going on? Everything's thrown off. So you want to give that system a rest. And this is going to do that. It's going to give you a chance to get into fasting and autophagy and actually clean up and repair the body, right? And so that it doesn't use all that energy doing that. It's using that in the repair mechanism. That's going to also prevent higher levels of fasting glucose at night, which is going to equal less burning of body fat, leave you more prone to diabetes, higher inflammation, and aging, right? What they found too is that poor sleep equals higher risk of obesity. 89% risk of obesity in children, an 89% increase, and 55% in adults. Guys, we need to remember and start prioritizing sleep. And remember, sleep is a skill, and we need to prioritize it like it is. So build routines into it. Adults should be getting about 7 hours of sleep. That's what the studies say. 6 hours ain't enough. You need to get 7. So think about that and start building in rituals, start building in routines. That's it, man. That's it. I hope these were helpful for you. Remember, the 6 evidence-based tips on fat loss are coffee, fiber, protein, mindful eating. 5 is drink water pre and post meal. And then the last one is sleep. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you want or you're interested in one-on-one health coaching and you want to learn how to lose weight holistically, or you need help with your gut health, or you're looking to detox, please reach out to me. Shoot me a DM at Joel Evan Coaching, or shoot me an email, info@Joel Evan Coaching. Happy to connect with you guys and help you live a more holistic and abundant life. I'm out. I will see you guys tomorrow for the Thursday Essential Oils podcast, where we dive deep into building an essential oil business and also some essential oils that can just regulate your life. And then Friday is going to be a nice health hack Friday. And I'm going to be going over the 3 types of sugars that you should only be putting in your body and some that you shouldn't. Have an amazing Wednesday. Happy hump day. I'm out.